Welcome back, Guild, to another Marvel Rivals video. Today we're going to be, as you've seen in the title, discussing how to beat all of the levels in the zombie mode on Marvel Rivals. As you know, the new Marvel zombie mode came out for the Halloween season, so today we want to break down everything you need to know before going into it, or if you're already into it and you're having trouble with that last level, as I know a lot of people are, let's discuss on what you can do to actually beat that level. Let's get into it. All right, first off, when we're looking at it initially, you have the 5 characters to pick from: the Punisher, the Magic, the Thor, the Blade, and the Jeff the Land Shark. All phenomenal characters in their own right, and all have amazing abilities. So as you can see here, you do have abilities you can get that can change their actual, in-game abilities, like his turret, his grapple, and his ultimate. At the end of the day, with Punisher, a lot of these don't necessarily matter because you're better off just shooting your gun, from what I've learned. Personally, I do think his red traits are his better traits over his shotgun traits. That's just me personally when it comes to Punisher. So, breaking down each character as we go here. Magic, of course. Her Q, I think having Darkchild all the time is an amazing thing. You do get a boost to health and damage if you choose not to be able to go ultimate with her, but I think that's better. I believe her E could go either way, and same with her shift. I think either way are both great. I do think that having the Reaper's Resolve over the Demonic Barrier is better in this particular case with Magic, but I think Magic's great as well. I do think going all red on her is the better way. A lot of people will go all blue though, personally, but I do like the all red, just getting a full blown, like just a very beefy, tanky, go to town attack damage beast over here. Okay, then we have Thor. Thor is one of those where I think most people are going to go his blue traits over his red traits, because having that awakened rune state is way too good. Okay, Thor is just way too good in that. He has, if you, a lot of people don't know this, if you end up getting an ability at some point with Thor where you can right click when you're in rune state, and then it starts shooting the maelstrom pulses out faster. Like you can shoot them fast. So that's a key thing to be on the lookout for when you are getting those. Okay, and so therefore, again, I think any of these could go either way, really. I don't think any are actually necessarily better than the others. It's really your preference on how you play with your team. Blade, probably the best character in this mode. Blade and Punisher, in my opinion, are the 2 best characters in this mode. Now, I do think since you can select more than one character at a time, I do think Blade and Punisher, there only need to be one of them. I do think you need a Jeff, Magic, or a Thor as well as your other 2. But I do believe Blade and Punisher should be on any team trying to quickly beat this level. Now, you can, I think, possibly do 2 Blades or 2 Punishers, but it's really good to have that Punisher for the range, just for reasons that we'll go into later on, okay? And so, therefore, I think with his Q, his shift, or this Q, I think any of them, honestly, with his left click, I think either one, really, you can't go wrong. At the end of the day, I do like, personally, I like his Lunar Wrath, so you can get the hands of Khonshu appearing below. I think that's great. I personally go the full red route because it's just full attack damage with his Ancestral Sword versus the Daywaker Dash, which is what a lot of people seem to also like as well. But personally, I like just being able to quickly attack with his sword and do all the damage in the world. That's just me personally. All right, everybody's favorite, Jeff the Land Shark. All right, personally, this one can go either way. At the moment, I'm trying a hide and seek build with him to try and see if it's even worth doing. I know it does a lot. You can't really get damaged much, and you pretty much can almost stay alive all the time. But having Joyful Splash, the reload speed, the projectile capacity, all of that is really good for these traits as well. If you're going for the spray and pray Jeff, don't get me wrong. I think also with his, I think can go either way. Whether you're doing whichever one. For me, I like Hazardous Depths. And then, of course, with this one, I like Fusion Bubble because I think pushing them, 2 of them, when they're close together and they fuse together, merge into one is pretty cool. And then, of course, you have the Aqua. I think the Hydro Grenade's probably the best because you're able to get rid of a bunch of characters all at once. Like, you're able to hit them, a bunch of them, all with one blast, and it's really nice, okay? But personally, I think Jeff could go either way with this, but I'm just trying out a hide and seek build. I'm thinking his red ones might be better with the Joyful Splash, but I do like the hide and seek build so far. Alright, so to be upfront and honest with you, I have not personally beaten the Nightmare 4. I have tried it once and got wrecked. Just to go ahead and put this straightforward, one, I believe you need to be level 40, or at least close, to beat Nightmare 4. I want to go ahead and just tell you that straightforward and up front. This is why I believe you need to be. Okay, I don't think are the leaderboards working now? Okay, they are. As you can see, some people have beat it just at 39. One person at 39, but the rest of his team was 40. This one, 38, 39, 39. So a lot of people have beaten it. And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying I think at the end of the day, being level 40 or higher, which I know these are quick timed ones, which is why like level 40 is going to be better. But I do think being level 40 or 38 to 40 with your team members also being in that range is going to be important. I'm still only level 34, so I have not beaten it, or have I found teammates that are in that level range. I think you need to be in a coordinated team with Nightmare 4. I'm going to be upfront and honest. Nightmare 4 is easily the hardest level in this whole entire thing. Okay, not even close. Okay, because normal, let's be honest, it was easy. Okay, I'm probably rolling clip now of me beating out normal. Normal's easy. Hard was easy. Extreme was easy. Nightmare 1, when you first unlock it, if you haven't played the other ones multiple times, can be a little difficult because it's completely different as you start taking on waves. You don't have the normal, hard, and extreme. You're going through like a linear path pretty much to fighting zombies, and then at the end you end up there's one point where you're fighting more, and then there's at the end you end up fighting Scarlet Witch, okay, the Queen of the Dead. You end up fighting her, okay. But then when you come into Nightmare, you're immediately in that final area where you fight the Queen of the Dead, and you're fighting waves of zombies coming at you. Wave 5, every 5 waves you get a boss fight, okay. So Nightmare 1, Wave 5, you get Wave 5 you get no more. And then Wave 10 you get Scarlet Witch. Okay? Wave 5 on Nightmare 2, you get no more. Wave 2 you get Scarlet Witch. Wave 15 you get no more and Scarlet Witch. Okay? Nightmare 3, same thing. No, actually different. Actually, Wave 5 you get no more. Wave 10 you get no more in Scarlet Witch, and then Wave 15 you get no more in Scarlet Witch again. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, you do get a weaker version of them at Wave 10, so it's not as hard. But Wave 15 you get them once again, and they're a whole lot harder, and the hordes are absolutely crazy. And then Wave 4 or Nightmare 4, I already know this one because I've seen it. The same thing as Nightmare 3. Wave 1 you get no more. Wave 2 you get both of them. Wave 3 you get both of them again. Then Wave 4, you get 2 Scarlet Witches. Okay? Or Wave 20, sorry, Wave 20. So Wave 5, 10, and 15 are the same as Nightmare 3. Where it's no more, then no more in Scarlet Witch, then a harder no more in Scarlet Witch. And then Wave 20 is, because there's 20 waves in Nightmare 4, it is 2 Scarlet Witches. Let me tell you, the amount of coordination you have to have because you need to solely focus on one. That's the same when it comes to any of the nightmares. When there's 2 of them, you need to take out no more first, and then you need to take out Scarlet Witch. Every time in that order. Because to beat Scarlet Witch, you have to shoot these crystals that appear, and if you're dealing with no more and you're getting shot by other things, you're never going to be able to sustain yourself. Also, another thing when it comes to these bosses, my biggest advice with these bosses is make sure you're taking out all of the other bad guys that are appearing while you're doing this. All the minions, all the big guys, everything that appears while you're still shooting, make sure that you take those guys out, because if not, they're going to just get in your way. The no more boss fight at level 5, a little bit different. You can kind of get away with only shooting his squids and then taking him out, because once you take him out, the level ends. But when it comes to Scarlet Witch or anybody else, the only time you need to focus on Witch is when she goes into her big bubble, her defense bubble, and then you need to focus on her there, because otherwise she's going to just spam everybody with stuns and end up filling the whole field up, and you don't want that, because then you get stun locked and you just lose. You can't win. So that's my advice for those. And then with 10 or with 15 and so on, you need to destroy them. So your order of priority for what to kill and what to kill first is going to be the zombies first, no more second, no more when you can, actually, because if you can get no more down on the ground, you can pretty much finish this whole day. No more when you can, Scarlet Witch last, after all the zombies are gone. Okay, that's my personal opinion. That's how I believe it needs to be done. Anyways, okay. Also, as you can see, I've played a lot of Punisher. But yeah, no. Overall, I think this game mode is a ton of fun. Now, there's one other thing that a lot of people don't realize is happening. That as you're building your character throughout the thing, they're just picking random things. So if you go over here to Khonshu's Blessing, all right, you have Blade. So you can pick red cards or you can pick blue cards whenever you're picking out his stuff. For lack of better words, you think it'd be common sense when you're over here in the prepare stage that you're going to pick all red cards because, you know, like traits wise, it makes more sense to pick all red cards or whatever trait. Like with Thor, I picked all blue. You would think that would be the obvious choice, and typically it is. But a lot of people don't realize it, and they're picking blue and red because they're seeing, oh, well, that helps out here and that helps out here. No, what you want to do is you, like, for instance, let's go with Blade to start with. You want to get that level 3 unlocked as quickly as possible. Okay, if you can happen to get to Crescent Wheel and get the Moonblade dancing around you, even if you want to do that instead, that's fine. But whichever one you want to focus on is the one you want to do immediately. You want to focus on it. A lot of people with him will go full red, but they will at least get to 20 on the blue just so they can get the Moonblades to orbit around you. It damages enemies that are touched. It's actually really good. So a lot of people will do that and then they'll go full red. So understandable with him. He's probably one of the few, I think, mixing it up. Punisher, without a shadow of a doubt, there's no reason to ever go shotgun, I don't think. I don't think shotgun does that great. From what I have done and seen so far, it does that well. I think the barrager and being able to get to bullet split into additional fragments upon hitting an enemy, with even more fragments generated when hitting weak points, which means if you're hitting the headshot, you're getting all the fragments. And let me tell you, headshots with Punisher in this game mode, beyond easy, except for the squids. The squids you have to aim for like the floor, just by the way, in case you didn't know that. But Punisher getting headshots is great, which means you get fragments, which means you're hitting more enemies, which means the waves of zombies when you're playing with Punisher, super easy to take care of. The big guys, when you're playing as Punisher, super easy to take care of. Punisher is by far one of the best characters in this game mode because of how well he can take care of everything. Go red with Punisher, period. I don't think there's a reason to go blue. I could be wrong, and somebody has this blue build, the sweeper build, that's just way better, but I think Barrage is just best. Alright, and so then you have this one. Okay, so this one you get Joyful Splash, which when hitting a bubble, it bursts, it leaves behind damage water zone. Alright, that's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And then you have It's Jeff. Hef can now be used during hide and seek to additionally devour enemies without target selection, dealing burst damage. Each KO during this period restores health and grants a brief speed boost. So this is an option as well. I mean, I think Jeff could go again. I think Jeff could go either way. But whichever one you do focus on, you need to focus on completely. Here's where things get interesting. So, in Awakening Rune, Mjolnir's Bash projectile explodes on impact with an explosion radius scaling with projectile size increase. Alright, and so then this is where it gets interesting. In level 3, Mjolnir Bash launches 2 additional projectiles diagonally forward. So that 3-wave burst you see with Thor, that's how you get it. A lot of people were not realizing that's how you get it. They thought it was from a card. You just have to continuously do Awakening. Hello? It's so good. And also, Mjolnir Bash projectiles gain Pierce on level 2. Like, Rune Awakening is by far his better option. It's, like, not even close. I think some of these are good as well. Don't get me wrong. I think Thunder Formation can be fun. But I think if you're solely trying to get through all the levels, Rune Awakening is the way to go with Thor. And it's not even close. Alright, and magic, again, I can't speak a whole lot on magic, but I'm going to assume it is the exact same in the sense of you need to just go for one or the other. Alright, let's just look at them. Alright, Demonic Soul Sword can detonate soul marks for area damage, reduce all ability cooldowns. Each successful detonation grants another Demonic Soul Sword. That's kind of good. I'm not even going to lie. And then Dark Child. In Dark Child form, every 200 damage dealt triggers a Berserk state, increased Soul Sword, and Eldritch Swirl. That's also really good. So, yeah, no. I think Magic is another one. Just like Jeff, can go either way. I think Magic could go either way, really, whichever one you are personally enjoying the most. But overall, I mean, I think unless you're going for the leaderboard, following my strategy on how to beat the nightmares and stuff. First for Nightmare 4, one thing like I said, be 38 to 40. Get you a team. Go to Marvel Rivals Discord. Go to Reddit. Go find friends who play the game. Anything. You need 4 people who are competent to beat Nightmare 4. Nightmare 1, 2, and 3, you don't have to be competent. You just have to play the game. Okay? You don't have to, you literally can hold down left click and play the game. Nightmare 4, you need 4 people who know kind of what they're doing and know how to move around. Because that's one other thing with Nightmare 1, 2, and 3. You need to be mobile. You need to be moving at all times, because if you're not moving at all times, you're just going to get wrecked. That's the end of that. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You're going to get wrecked. People are going to beat you, and you're just not going to have any fun as like the plague zombies or the fire zombies that explode or do damage over time are just going to one-shot you. And it's crazy. Because trust me, as Punisher, I got one shot all the time, and it's not fun. Okay? So that's my best advice for that, is definitely to just be mobile. And if you're trying to beat Nightmare 4 and you're having trouble, get to level 38 to 40. Gonna take a little bit of a grind, just playing the game out, playing Nightmare 3 a few times till you get there. It is what it is. Do that. Find 4 people you know or can at least speak with in some type of communication form, whether it's in-game chat, on Discord, some way, shape, or form, and then you can beat the level. Okay? It's really that simple. And then if you follow my tips on how to beat the bosses, that would be great. Unless, again, this is all based on you not trying to go for a leaderboard position. If you're going for a leaderboard position, I am not the guy to look for that. I have no clue what they're doing to beat some of these levels in 43 minutes, okay? Because based on this, okay, it took me 39 minutes to beat Nightmare 3. That is 5 more minutes, or 4 more minutes than what it took me to beat Nightmare 3, to beat Nightmare 4, and I didn't make it 2 minutes and 30 seconds in Nightmare 4. I'm severely under level, went on there thinking, oh, Nightmare 3 was easy. Nightmare 4 is a different breed. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So that's my best advice for this. Otherwise, have fun. I know all of us want to get this final reward of this. I really want the Queenslayer. I want that title. I think that title is really sick. I think it's a fun title to have. I know we all want that. So if that's what you're looking to get, just make sure you follow my advice. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you want to team up, also put your user down below. I'd gladly play with some of y'all. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hug someone you love, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.